The dim glow of the moonlight filtered through the window as the group slept off their revelry. Chioma, restless, quietly stood up to go use the toilet. The silence amplified her footsteps as she tiptoed across the creepy floor. After relieving herself, Chioma decided to take a stroll through the corridor to the sitting room, hoping it will help her relax. Her steps gentle, each sound echoing ominously in the quiet house. As she entered the sitting room, a chill ran down her spine. The room felt unnaturally cold and the shadows seemed to move on their own. Suddenly, she saw it, a dark, formless figure hovering near the far wall. Her heart pounded as she watched in horror. Before she could scream, the figure rushed towards her with inhuman speed. Chioma's eyes widened in terror as she felt a searing pain in her stomach. Tension gripped the room as everyone trembled. What happened? Ope's voice cut through the silence. I thought she was with you, Samson. The last thing I saw was you and her kissing before I passed out. King's voice quivered with fear. What exactly happened? They all demanded, their confusion turning into panic.
Calm down. This has never happened before. Why are you blaming me? Yes, we did some crazy stuff last night, but that was it. We all fell asleep together.
Samson tried to explain. We have to get the hell out of here, Tolu screamed. Samson insisted they needed to figure out who was behind this. They huddled together, fear and grief heavy in the air. Abigail wept uncontrollably, regret etched on her face. They pulled out their phones, but there was no service. Guys, the guide says no service here because it is meant to be secure. Why is this happening now? Samson said, trying to reassure them. King was furious.
Are you insane? Why didn't you tell us earlier? I should have read the guide.
Accusations flew as panic took over. Samson insisted that the haunted house had no recorded deaths. It was a place for bonding and romance, not violence. He promised that the old man in charge would return by morning and would explain everything. They wrapped Chioma's body and placed it in a room, waiting in vain for the old man's arrival. Evening fell and the old man still hadn't returned. The group's frustration boiled over. We have to escape ourselves, they decided. But Samson explained the walls were too high to climb and the gates were locked for security. Okwe slapped Samson and stormed off. Guys, let's go. We can do this if we try, she urged. The group followed her lead, leaving Samson behind. They tried everything to escape, but to no avail. Their escape attempt failed. Exhausted, they decided to rest. Each pair chose a room for safety. Okwe and King in one, Frank and Tolu in another, and Abigail with Samson. They stayed vigilant, talking quietly. Okwe cried while King consoled her. Frank also consoled Tolu, assuring her safety. They used the time to express their feelings, ending in a passionate kiss and romance. Abigail cried quietly, ignored by Samson, who was deep in thought. Fatigue soon overtook them and they fell asleep. The next morning, they were relieved to find no new deaths. They gathered in the sitting room but noticed that Tolu and Frank were missing. Oh, I heard a crazy ringtone from their room last night. Samson joked to lighten the mood. They laughed weakly, trying to shake off the dread. They waited for the old man, but frustration grew.
Do they only show up when it's time to leave?
King shouted angrily.
You agreed to the 5-day stay too. Don't blame me.
Samson retorted, his patience wearing thin. Worried, Okwe went to check on Tolu and Frank. Soon, a scream pierced the air. Okwe's voice. They rushed to the room, only to find Frank and Tolu lying lifelessly on the bed. The sight was horrifying, sending icy shivers down their spines. What do you think will happen next? Let's find out in part 3. Like, share, and comment next for part 3. Please don't forget to follow this page so you don't miss out on Berry's animated tales. Thank you.